Oh, some of you are already in. My webcam's changed. Hang on, right. Well, hello, everyone. I've got a few people already there. That's great. Let me just share it. You know, my camera's... Is it because I've been using OBS? My webcam's changed its frame, I think. Not to worry. I was going to put this on Facebook. I won't forget to do that this time. And Twitter. My tweet's been posted. Right. I will actually just check. Oh, it has, yes. And on Facebook. Yep, there it is. Brilliant, man, brilliant. Hello, everybody. Just close that. Hello, Kloppite. Yeah, you're getting great minds, Kloppite. You already get in there, isn't it? It's pretty obvious. The big Scottish midgie. You're right. Jeffrey now recovered from face surgery in Israel. Kloppite, who's to say he's dead? He might be living in secret with all his filthy pals. Well, yeah, I don't know. That's what we're going to go into this evening. A big Scottish midgie says Prince Andrew now sitting with a dram, thanking the US prison service. Oh yes, how fortunate that they were so incompetent to let him commit suicide. Hi Winslow, nice to see you again. Kloppite says nobody shed a tear if Prince Andrew was taken out too. Oh no, I think I'd get over it quite quickly. Steve 071, hello. Nothing is as it seems, waiting impatiently. Bumbelina, hello. Magma, nice to see you, Magma. Someone I know exists in real life because I've met her. I've met her many times. Yeah. See, praying medic, latest video at Epstein suit. Right. Investigation. Railing all the pedos. Right. Praying medic, I've heard that before. He's either under witness protection or no longer necessary in the investigation. Well, I'll check that out. Buster King, I'm just going to delete you. Right. Big Scottish midgie, plane crash with... Yeah, one thing I'm going to talk about tonight is what happens next. We've got 31 people watching. Hello, Woody Black. Tina, hello, Tina. How are you? Rob Jack, Pie Pounder, highly predictable given how much. Yes. David Schultz, greetings. I'm in shock. Round up all the usual suspects, the Clintons, the British community, FBI, CIA, Mossad. Yeah. Nassim Agrakdam, hello. Go back to sleep. Nothing to see here. Yeah. Oh, God, yes, I'm going to be talking about the fact this is happening. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Stuart. Hi, Lisa. How are you? Hi, Hugo Rune. Hello. Maxwell. Is that Robert Maxwell? Yeah. Was his body never found? I remember that. Yeah. There was a big scandal here in Oxford because he was like a local guy. He owned Oxford United and he lived in this weird building, which it's now owned by Brooks University, but no one ever went in there. It was like Oxford's Area 51. Hello, Green Sky 17. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. I think we got now 44 people. I think people are now, yeah. Right, and November the 5th. Remember. Yeah. Hi, Neil. Desperandum. What a corrupt world we live in. Kloppite, it's getting better, I'd like to say. Hi, Lime Specs. Remember not to go soft on Trump on this issue. He has as much to lose as the Clintons. Not quite. I'll be saying a bit about Trump in a minute. And the midgie. Is there any info on the prison cameras? Well, midgie, obviously they weren't working. Just a coincidence, nothing to worry about, as David Icke would say. Just like the 17 traffic cameras in Paris the night Diana died. Yeah. It's funny that, isn't it? How come those traffic cameras can't break down at other times? You know, like when you're speeding along the road. How come they don't break down there? They're always there, aren't they? To snap your number plates, you get a filthy letter and a fine through the post. They always work then, don't they? Yeah, I'll be Lime Specs. I'll be talking about the Clintons and Trump thing. Hello, trust no one. Hi, Simon. Nassim. Yeah. I haven't checked out the Q posts. I don't know what QAnon says. QAnon's not mentioned it, I don't think. There we go. Last time I looked, I couldn't find any. Let's have a look. No, it's anyway. It's gone. It goes blank sometimes. Oh, yeah. Takes a while to come up. How many people watching now? 45. How are you all, guys? The month of August is traditionally very hot. You have more than to know. Yeah, that's August. Oh, right, that's August the 1st. That's beforehand. That was Q's last post. You have more than you know. All right. Bigger slam dunk changes coming. And it talks about will not prosecute me. Public understanding events around the corner. Yeah, Q's been a bit quiet lately. Not to worry. And David Schultz, hello. Thanks for tuning in as well. Hello, David. Let's not forget the underground cameras on 7/7, correct? The video cameras around the Pentagon 9/11, correct? Well, David, apparently they were working, but the videos have never been seen. Even in the investigation, they were never shown. Magma, QAnon has mentioned it a while back. Said a person who fought hard for bail wouldn't commit suicide. Oh, right. Nothing. The pedos, the carrion, dead men don't tell tales. I've got a short lead off I'm going to read. Like I said, as always, it's quite a short one, so I may be able to go through your comments. If not, I won't. While I'm reading the lead off, I won't read your comments afterwards that are in the lead off. So if you've got anything to say to me, save it for after the lead off. But if you want to talk to each other, of course, go ahead. What I'll do is I'll just go through your comments. I'll get rid of the trolls, and I won't necessarily ask other things. Hello, Starshine. Will they tell us what he used to hang himself? Yeah, I'm going to come to that. In fact, I don't know about you. I'm going to start the lead off now. Everyone knows where they were when they hear these things, don't they? Where were you when Kennedy was shot? Where were you when 9/11 happened? Well, where I was when I heard that Epstein had died was at home. I just got home from work on Saturday. It was about 1 p.m. I think, what time was it? British time. It must have been about that, yeah. And I switched on the computer, and there was a video up saying Epstein dies. And you know what? I hadn't watched it. It said Jeffrey Epstein dead. It said. I didn't even flinch. I did not even flinch. I mean, everyone's predicted this, haven't they? Everyone's predicted this. That joke tweet by Bill Clinton. Trevor Murray actually posted this from Mindset Podcast. I want to give my condolences for the upcoming suicide of my friend Jeffrey Epstein. Well, many a true word is spoken in jest, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? So, actually, could everybody in the chat box who thinks this was a coincidental suicide based on incredible negligence by the prison staff, could you please just post the number 1 in chat right now? Just post. No one's going to post it, are they? I mean, let's face it. It's so obvious, isn't it? As they say in the movies, he died a moider. I mean, he was the most heavily guarded prisoner in the United States. He was one of the most hated men in the world, certainly the most hated in the country. He was the hottest legal property in the entire United States. You could bet only the most elite prison warders were permitted to look after him, who were permitted to watch him. Yet he committed suicide. I mean, there's a phrase that someone came up with. I first heard it from Cosmic Claire. I don't know if she's in chat yet. Cosmic Claire, are you there? Tina, yep, too. Exactly. Is Cosmic Claire there yet? No. Well, Cosmic Claire was the person who coined this. Arkanside. Have you heard that? Arkanside. Arkanside is a term which refers to the Clinton body count. Now, Arkanside comes from Arkansas, which is the state that Bill Clinton comes from. Arkanside is the term that Cosmic Claire used. I've heard other people use it. That means killed by the Clintons, basically. And there's a large number of those. Epstein is on that list. In fact, he's probably, apart from John Kennedy Jr., if he's not this Vincent Fusha person, Jeffrey Epstein's probably the biggest name on this list. Now, if you want to, I'm going to give a bit of background to Epstein, but not a lot. You know it already. And also, if you read the Herpanmo Voice blog, you'll see I've written all about it on there when the scandal first broke. So, I mean, do read Herpanmo Voice, actually. If you like watching Herpanmo TV, you'll really enjoy reading Herpanmo Voice. As the FBI has launched an investigation. This is in the news. This is from American news. An investigation. The FBI doing their own investigation. Yep. On no corruption there, I'm sure. After billionaire paedophile Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide by hanging himself in his prison. Right. So the investigation has been launched, yet we already have a verdict, according to this news story. He committed suicide by hanging himself in prison. At the very day after, a lawsuit by one of his a sex slave. This is one of the people who witnesses against him, was unsealed and named a host of his powerful friends, including Prince Andrew. Yeah, this lady has been interviewed. She was a teenager, and she claims to have been a prostitute, an underage prostitute, working for Jeffrey Epstein, and she had her people. She was a sex slave, basically, and these people included royalty. Now, when an American says royalty, what do they mean? Does the United States have a royal family? Nah. If you say royal family almost anywhere in the world, even in countries which have their own monarchy, you mean the throne of England, definitely. Jeffrey Epstein hanged himself inside his New York City jail on Saturday morning. He was discovered by prison guards shortly after 7 a.m. and was rushed to a nearby hospital. The 66-year-old was pronounced dead a short time later. In other words, he was dead. He was dead in the cell, basically. This is crazy. It's just a coincidence, nothing to worry about, as David Icke would say. The BBC has been slightly more ingenuous. They've said here the FBI has opened a formal investigation into how the US financier Jeffrey Epstein was able, apparently, to kill himself. Oh, right. Funny enough, the mayor of New York City, Bill de Blasio, has said something very interesting. You know what? He's now a conspiracy theorist. He says it's way too convenient that Epstein could no longer incriminate others. What a lot of us want to know is, what did he know? Mr. de Blasio said. And now he's running for president, interestingly. How many other millionaires and billionaires were part of the illegal activities that he was engaged in? Well, that information didn't die with Jeffrey Epstein. If it didn't, it needs to be investigated too. Well, hopefully there'll be enough information left without him. Again, the circumstances. He was at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City. I'm just going to look that place up. Supposedly the most secure prison in the country. Let's just have a look how secure it is. Let's have a look. It's Metropolitan Correctional Center, New York City. Wikipedia. It's a federal administrative detention facility in Manhattan, New York City, which holds male and female prisoners of all security levels, operated by the Federal Bureau of Prisons, U.S. Department of Justice. It's often referred to as the Guantanamo Bay of New York. Whoa, right. Notable inmates: Abu Hassan al-Liba, who was involved in possibly in various bombings, in conspirator of 9/11, involved in embassies in East Africa, did not commit suicide, even though he's a Muslim. There was this guy called Joaquin Guzman, known as El Chapo, who was able to escape from high security facilities in Mexico. So he's escaped from prison. Sayfullo Habibulovich Saipov, on suspicion of preparing a terrorist attack in New York City. Patrick Ho, charged with violating Foreign Corrupt Practices Act on money laundering. Darrell Campbell plead guilty to federal gun charges, racketeering charges. And we have Ikaid Ullah, who is convicted of terrorism plot to destroy a New York City subway with explosives. So we're not talking about petty criminals here. This isn't your average vandal. These aren't kids who've been scrumping in the garden of the Lord of the Manor. These are very, very, and of all these people, there's only one of them, Jeffrey Epstein, it mentions here. It gives their prison number here, 763180054. Guess how many of them managed to commit suicide in the course of their incarceration? Bearing in mind some of them are Muslims. Only one, Jeffrey Epstein. Let's have a look at this place on the map. Hang on, let's find it on the map. There were the Metropolitan Correctional Center. Oh my God, yeah, it looks like bloody Colditz. It's got a brown-walled, small windows, it's like one of these new. And guess what? The Google Street View. It's got no Google Street View. Oh wow. Yeah, you can't see it on Google Street. So, see, it's that's it. You can just see it on the tilting version or on the overhead view. Oh, how about that? So they don't even want to see it on the street view. Right, you are. Okay. So, yeah. So now, Jeffrey Epstein, of course, was placed on suicide watch because he was actually found unconscious last month with injuries to his neck and was taken to hospital in what prison officials were calling a possible attempted suicide. Bearing in mind, as I say, this guy is legal hot property. There are conflicting reports as to whether Epstein was placed on suicide watch following that incident. Conflicting reports. There's a limit on how incompetent people can be by accident. Just so that you know what does being on suicide watch mean? What is involved? Well, let me just find what my notes have gone funny. Hang on. Yeah, well, it involves people on suicide watch. Right, your clothing. You wear the clothing you wear, especially your prison uniform, especially designed so that it cannot be converted into ligature, which means you can't just rip strips off it and sort of like roll them together to make a rope. You wear slippers on your feet because no laced boots, because no shoelaces. Again, shoelaces can be turned into a noose. When you eat food, which is someone watches you eat to make sure you don't try and slip any poison in. You don't try and extract a cyanide capsule from your asshole or something. Oh, by the way, you are searched internally as well, and you're X-rayed and things like that. The only cutlery you're allowed is a plastic spoon, because any other cutlery could be used for a suicide weapon. Yeah. Okay. Now, someone has actually asked about Trump. Now, of course, the reason he was murdered, and sure as eggs are eggs, he was murdered, unless he has been whisked away and he's under some kind of, maybe some people say he's been, because he was trying to plea bargain. That's the thing. He was trying to do a plea bargain. I'll say more about that later. Now, the BBC, there's a lot of high-profile people, of course. We know now about people named often Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew. There's numbers of us. Donald Trump always comes up on that list whenever the media is discussing this. And someone actually was asking in chat about mentioning the connection with Donald Trump. And in fact, someone has done this I'll go through the connections. I'll go through the comments left on the show, on the live stream notice. In fact, the BBC were referring to this particular, the connections with rich and powerful people. And the only photograph they posted on the article was that of Donald Trump. They showed a picture of Trump and Epstein together. Now, I cover this on the Herpanmo Voice blog, so if you read that, you'll know all this. The first thing you notice about this particular picture of Trump and Epstein hanging around these two women, and I do say women, they are not girls. They're over 30 years old. They look young and attractive, of course. And there's these two sort of middle-aged guys hanging around them. Well, it's not exactly an aberration for old guys to enjoy hanging around with young women if they're able to do so. If they some of the few older men who can. In other words, they're filthy rich. It's not exactly a sexual aberration. It's not a perversion. Now, Trump apparently referred to Epstein as a terrific guy. Now, the evidence against in terms of Bill Clinton, I'll compare the evidence against Donald Trump with that of Bill Clinton. What happened is there's a suspicious element of Epstein's first conviction, because suspicions were raised in 2002. Apparently, well, he's been doing this since the 90s, apparently, at least. A girl came forward in 2002. The FBI investigated. In 2008, he was convicted. The thing about it is, there was a guy called Alexander Acosta, who was the district attorney for the U.S. He was the attorney for the U.S. District Court, which originally prosecuted Epstein. What followed then was a plea bargain, in which resulted in Epstein being, the federal case against him was dismissed. He was handed over to the county court in exchange for certain names not being mentioned at the trial. Now, everyone thinks it means these four girls who were basically prostitutes of his and pimps. They were recruiting other underage girls. Now, what happened was when Trump became president, Alexandra Costa was appointed Secretary of Labor, which is quite a lucrative and important position within the federal branch of the government. And everyone said, well, this is payment for services rendered, isn't it? Because what happened to Epstein was Epstein got a sentence, but he got a 13-month sentence in an open prison, for which he for 6 days a week he had to just go back there and spend the night. That's all. Now, if it had been you or me, they'd have thrown away the key, of course. And the idea there was this corruption was engineered by Alexandra Costa, and Trump was involved because Trump was one of those on the list. However, Alexandra Costa, when he was appointed to the bench, to the cabinet as U.S. Secretary of Labor, it went through the usual channels. It wasn't Trump. It wasn't a Trump's own appointment through nepotism, through some back office handshake. He was appointed by the U.S. Senate, which is the correct channels for someone in his position. So that piece of evidence, or so-called evidence, is debunked with that. There's no evidence at all that Trump engineered Epstein's plea bargain with Acosta and then paid him for services rendered. Now, the photograph of Trump and with Trump and Epstein, you could see immediately that both men are a lot younger. Of course, the New York Magazine, which actually took the photo, says that it was taken in 2002, but they're quite a bit younger. Now, it's true that Jeffrey Epstein went to the Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida. This is Palm Beach, Florida, where Trump had this big estate, and the BBC are making a big deal out of this. The problem is, Epstein only got in, he gate crashed on a bring a friend ticket, and Trump threw him out. Trump threw him out because he knew what he was like. And the two men fell out. Also, we hear that Trump has been a passenger on Epstein's fleet of private aircraft. That's true. Twice, he went to Florida. Epstein gave him a lift. Bill Clinton, on the other hand, according to the flight logs that have been submitted to this investigation, he took a different plane to a different location. He went to the Epstein's home, which is an island in the U.S. Virgin Islands it's now called Pedo Island. And the plane which takes people there is called the Lolita Express for obvious reasons. According to the flight logs, Bill Clinton took 26 flights on that plane, there and back. These are returns, so it's there and back 26 times. He didn't take his U.S. Secret Service escort, which he's entitled to as a former U.S. president, for the rest of his life. Trump never rode on the Lolita Express. Now, the closest anyone's come to a connection between Trump and Epstein is a lawsuit taken out against them both by a woman who claimed both men sexually abused her in 1994. This is many years before the 2002 investigation into Epstein began. She said she was 13 years old. It was a civil case. There was no criminal investigation. The case was launched on 3 separate occasions, April, June, and September in 2016, during the presidential campaign. The first time it was dismissed by the judge, and the 2 others, the summonses were never served to the defendants. This is starting to sound a bit like the Brett Kavanaugh situation, isn't it? So the history is 2002, 2005, 2006. Epstein went through various issues to do with the legal side. He got this ridiculously lenient jail sentence in June 2008, and the rest we will know about. His arrest in 2019, investigations in 2018. Interestingly, President Trump, who was president then, he cooperated with the FBI and indeed with the attorney defending, the attorney representing the victims, the alleged victims of Epstein in 2018, even though he was the US president by then and didn't have to. So what I'm basically saying here is that people who accuse Trump of being part of all this, I think, are wrong. So what's happened now is, well, we're going to have what we were looking forward for. We were looking forward to the trial of Jeffrey Epstein, which would have been like the trial of O.J. Simpson. And we were looking forward to that because we knew that he would take other people down with him. Rich and powerful people. Rich enough and powerful enough to stage a person's death and make it look like suicide, perhaps, even in the most secure location where someone is under continuous CCTV. Their entire cell is under CCTV, so the most experienced prison warders would be involved in this. As I've already said, suicide weapons are strictly avoided. Even shoelaces not allowed, plastic spoons and things like that I've talked about. They would have been able to engineer an apparent suicide. Interesting thing was, Epstein was applying for new plea bargains if he named certain names. Now, for someone in that position, we're not talking about 4 girls he used to work with from around the block. If he's going to get any kind of plea bargain for what he's accused of, it would have to be much bigger names than that. And in my opinion, it would be a real toss-up over whether you actually give it to him. It depends. But if you're going to give it to him for what he's done, he bloody well delivers. He's got to deliver household names, earth-shattering and Illuminati-destroying names on a plate for justice. It's like what I talked about in the South Africa live stream about the guy in jail he's in jail for murdering white farmers, and he says he's got evidence that the ANC organising it all, but he wants immunity in exchange for delivering the goods. And again, it's a dilemma. What do you do? He's committed these horrible genocidal acts of torture and murder. Yet he has the possibility of bringing down the conspiracy to kill the white people of South Africa, to exterminate them. What do you do? I don't have the answer to that. I think that what has happened on Saturday, the death of Jeffrey Epstein, is our JFK. Now, I don't mean that we compare John F. Kennedy with Jeffrey Epstein. President John F. Kennedy, from what I've seen, was an admirable figure, someone respectful and decent, which is why he was shot. Jeffrey Epstein is a filthy nonce, and I'm glad he's dead. He's a dirty pervert, and the world is better off without him. Good. However, he's taken information with him to his grave. Maybe not all. Maybe there's another way through this. But as I said, there's not going to be a trial. There's going to be an investigation, a coroner's inquest. It's not going to be half as earth-shattering as it would have been if it had been a trial. The reason it's RJFK is because this I think is going to have the same effect as the Kennedy assassination. It's going to make a lot of people think again, not least because we conspiracy theorists predicted it. Indeed, you don't have to have a crystal ball, do you, when you know what's really going on? I think we tinfoil hat wearing nutters have just doubled in number. I mean, we've had the mayor of New York's talking about it. We've had there's a couple of like alt-right guys who are now talking conspiracies and things like that. And there's you're going to find more celebrities, more rich people, more sort of well-known people and media pundits talking out, and journalists speaking the way we do. By the way, the term conspiracy theory was unknown in the English language before 1964. It was inserted into the English language by the CIA in the wake of the Warren Commission, which was a whitewash on the Kennedy assassination, that says Oswald was the only shooter. Lee Harvey Oswald, of course, also didn't get a trial because he himself was murdered by Jack Ruby just a day after he shot the president, allegedly. And Jack Ruby himself died in jail of natural causes while he was on death row for that murder. What's interesting here is that the people who killed Epstein know exactly the effect that this will have. They know that they're essentially exposing themselves to do this. This is a dilemma for them because they have the choice: kill Epstein, keep Epstein alive and let him go to trial and take all these people down with them, or kill him. It's the only way to silence him, and know that most people are going to look at it with suspicion, which essentially means it's essentially a confession on their part that the conspiracy exists, the cabal exists, the deep state, and it's willing to take people out via a conspiracy within the Department of Justice in order to keep themselves safe. Now, that is a big, big red pill. And they know very well the effect it's going to have. but they have had to assess the risks, and they've decided to do it anyway, knowing the effect it's going to have. Ladies and gentlemen, we are watching conspiratorial history being made. There'll be a lot more to be said on this. This is why I think it's like JFK. There'll be a lot more to be said on this. I expect I may be doing more videos and more live streams on this matter as more information comes out. And one of the things I will be probably ranting about at some point is because I've already seen bloody skeptics calling this a coincidence. I said this. If you watch my talk, my last talk at Truth Seekers Northeast, it's shorter than the studio version of my skeptics talk, and it's probably a little bit better. At what point do they say, where is this cutoff point? Where is the statistical ceiling above which they will stop crying and saying things are coincidences? I don't think there is one, and we see this again. So what happens next? I don't know. It's too early to say. It's still very chaotic. We're just barely 48 hours after the event. I'm just going to go through your comments now, but I'm not going to answer any that have, because I'm just going to delete some trolls. If there are any. There was no trolls last time. I was quite pleased. Just get rid of the trolls if they're there. Where are we now? Okay. There's someone who's put something in a foreign language here. I don't have time to translate that. That could. I'm just going to go through these. Right. Oh, hi, Sweep. Hi, Sweep. Sweep Foxman is there. That's nice. Right. Mossad and the CIA. All right. It wouldn't surprise me, It wouldn't surprise me, a man in his position. Jack Smirking Revenge. Hello. Anyone interested in the JFK assassination, watch Jim Mars and Jim Fetzer's talks on the subject. Yeah, and Jim Mars's book, Caught in the Crossfire, is brilliant. That book is what inspired Oliver Stone's film JFK. Yeah. Hello, Phuket. How are you? I'm said hello to everyone because I said, no, Phuket, you're not a troll. Don't worry. DJ, I won't delete you. You're not a troll. Hello, Paul Armstrong. Let's make your streams a safe place. Hashtag no time for trolls. Absolutely. Oh, Alex Fate. My goodness me. How are you? I'm not heard from you for ages. Neil Desbrandon, R.I.P. Jim Mars. Yes. Wonderful man, Jim Mars. David Schultz says, if I was in Epstein's position, knowing that I'm a dead man, I would have foolproof dead man switch, taking many of my enemies with me. Well, I hope so. David, I hope so. I bloody hope so. That would be good. That would be ironic if they killed him to silence him, and then suddenly there's an awful lot more. I mean, I understand why some people do that, yeah. I do hope this does lead to more. I'm sorry the cameras have gone funny. It's because I was using OBS. 69 Phuket. You're fed up. Rabbit's sick. I'm sorry. I really am. Alex, yeah, it's great to see Alex again, Paul. I'm really, really pleased. What do you guys think about this? I mean, what do you think's what do you have to say about this? Gentle Jim from Texas, yeah. What do you think is going to happen next? That's the question. Tina, hello. Gordon Novell put in a dead man switch, but nothing came out after his death. It could be they managed to defuse it, Tina. I don't know. Butterflaps McGristle. That's a good name. Even if they do show a body, it might not even be his. Well, it wasn't. Do you remember with the photographs, the supposed photographs of Bin Laden's body? It wasn't Bin Laden, was it? It was a still from a computer game. I remember. Alex Fate, I haven't heard any rumors of your death. Are you? I'm glad. Obviously, that's the case. This could you see this? If this backfire, Tina, Paul is dead. Yeah, Paul McCartney's dead. Yes, I've done an entire video on that. J1, you reckon he's alive? It's possible he's been got out either by the bad guys or the good guys. Some people are suggesting, I think Magma was saying something like this, that he's been, because he has information, he's somehow been spirited away by the alliance against the deep state, which QAnon talks about, and because he's under witness protection of some kind. Obviously, if he has to go, obviously at some point he's going to have to come out into the open. Maybe he'll just appear one day at a press conference with John Kennedy Jr. Yeah, rumors of Epstein's death may have been exaggerated. I don't, yeah. And Jax, no, don't believe in coincidences, yeah. Neil says, one theory that he's been put into witness protection in order to bring out the rest of the cabal. I hope so. I mean, the thing about it is, after what he's done, again, it's a dilemma. He's a horrible man, but is it worth it to bring this down, as in the South African case I was talking about? Yeah. Tina Silver, maybe the vacuum repairman got him out. Oh, they come in all kinds of disguises, Tina. Yeah. Line specs. Does anyone remember what the rationale was for them dumping OBL in the sea before anyone could protest or challenge it? They didn't have one, Lime Specs. In fact, I remember the night he died. I was actually at work. I was on a night shift, and people were coming in saying, "Oh, guess what? What's happened? Osama bin Laden's dead. They found him. They killed him." And I said, "What, really?" And I said, "Yeah." And I went on, and we all gathered around the TV, and it was like, and they had a funny thing is, I went home at 6. I went off duty at 6 a.m., rushed home, turned on the TV. The news was covering it. They had an anti-terrorism expert from the US Embassy who was commenting on the bin Laden case. And he said that the newsreader said, what will happen to bin Laden's body? And they said it will be returned it will be taken to it'll be repatriated, taken to the United States and put on display for the press. And there'd be a period of at least 2 weeks when the body was kept at the United States. Then it would be returned to the family for burial. But he said there's absolutely no doubt the body would be returned to the United States. This is the most wanted man of all. He's guilty, or he's been rendered guilty in absentia of the most horrific crime ever committed on U.S. territory. And his body would be returned to the United States. Well, guess what? Then the news reported that, they took him to an aircraft carrier, and they found a Muslim member of the crew who was qualified to perform a ceremony. They buried him at sea. No body, sorry. And that guy from the embassy's not been back on TV, and I can't find a recording of it anywhere. Is him talking? So that's what I heard. And of course, funny enough, the Special Forces unit, which carried out the supposed death of bin Laden, what's happened to them? I wonder. Most of them are dead. A whole load of them were shot down in a helicopter and in very mysterious circumstances. And one of the men's fathers actually is campaigning for an investigation. He doesn't see things my way. He thinks it's Al-Qaeda units that have infiltrated the Afghan National Army, who are allies of the United States in Afghanistan. I think no. I think it's a bit closer to home than that. But the father says there's some suspicious element to the shooting down this helicopter. Another member of the team was killed in a car crash. Another one is a parachutist who likes amateur parachute jumping. He jumped out of a plane, and guess what? His parachute wouldn't open. Also, the spare parachute wouldn't open either. Just a coincidence, nothing to worry about. Line specs, that's strange, isn't it? David Schultz, I don't trust the FBI. I really don't, to do this. This investigation is going to be very different from a trial, as I said. It's going to be a whitewash, just like the Warren Commission. Jack smirking revenge, religious reasons. No, well, Muslims are generally buried on land. They have graves that if they're buried on their side, and the side is facing Mecca. So that's not a religious reason at all. I mean, it's true the funeral is said to be carried out as soon as possible after death. Rather like Jewish funerals, there's kind of like a schedule. However, I think with the world's most wanted man and the worst criminal in American history, they could have made an exception to that. Alex Fate, rather than his death, the time he was held was likely used for pressuring others. So much manipulation has been going on for sure. There's all kinds of possibilities of what's going on, Alex. Yeah, I mean, it really is. We don't know. We haven't any. Obviously, this has happened in a very secure prison. a place where you can't. There's no windows you could see. You can't even see it from Google Street, obviously for the security reasons. Rob Jack is down to the cigarette smoking man. Yeah, he's. I'm sure Mulder and Scully are on the case, and Jack, or Sir Jack Smirking Revenge. Bin Laden died in the early 2000s. He was he died in 2002. I think the best evidence indicates February 2002. That's when an actual obituary was published in an Egyptian newspaper. Neil Desbrandum. Supposedly, they didn't want to make any known gravesite into a shrine to Osama bin Laden. They claimed it was in compliance with Islamic law, which has been denied by Muslims. It is not in compliance with Islamic law necessarily, and they could have made they could certainly have made an exception in his case, and indeed this expert from the US Embassy said they would. What's more, the shrine wouldn't be in the United States. It would be probably in Saudi Arabia, where he comes from and where his family are based. And really, it just doesn't make sense, does it? 69 Phuket, the greatest Muppet show ever. It is so transparent. This is way more transparent even than 9/11, more so than Bin Laden. There must surely, how many people are really believing the official story now? Guys, we've just gone mainstream. We conspiracy theorists are now, well, we're everywhere. Surely this must be the break we're looking for. Neil Desperandum, SEAL Team 6. Yeah, a lot of them, not all of them are dead, but I don't know, they haven't named the people who actually took part in the Bin Laden raid, but the members of SEAL Team 6 who are dead, I bet you they're the ones. You're welcome, Limebex. Yep, they're bumped off. Yep, they get rid of the witnesses. DJ B2. Funny how Epstein stuff happened when YouTube stopped screen sharing and multi-streaming. Oh, yes, of course. It was literally just a few days after we lost Google Hangouts, as you know from my video. By the way, I'm doing a comments reply video. You may have noticed actually some tags being sent to you. I'm in the middle of doing a comments reply video, which I've actually stopped to do this. This is kind of an emergency situation. I will be uploading. I will finish the comments reply video and upload it in the next couple of days. Okay, but I've had to stop it to do this basically. Tina Silver, Epstein, 10/8, Twin Towers, 9/11. Yeah, 10th of August, 11th of September. Yeah. 1 day later, 1 month later. That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, Mitch, Ghislaine Maxwell will fall off her boat. Well, they've already been. They might as well, Midgie, the big Scottish, because they've already. What they've done now is obvious enough. What does one more death make? They've gone. There's essentially they might as well be hanged in for a penny, in for a pound. They've already played their hand. They've dropped their aces from their sleeves. The cards have fallen to the table. They might as well just kill Maxwell too. Because people have already been awakened by this. One more death will make no difference. If I was Ghislaine Maxwell, I'd head for the hills. I really would. I'd head for the hills with a 12-bore shotgun and find some cabin in the woods until this is blown over. DJ, I'll be watching to see when she has a car crash or falls down the stairs or falls off her boat, as Midgie said. Nothing as it seems. Dark journalist interview with Elena Freego is illuminating. I've not heard that yet. Someone mentioned that to me. I'll check that out. Phuket brought some 35p spaghetti bolognese, one day food for the upcoming depression. Well, if you, I'm hoping that won't happen. I'm trying to stop something like that. Tina Silver says his cellmate was a cop who killed drug dealers. Tina, I have a feeling that Epstein wouldn't have a cellmate. I imagine he'd be held in solitary confinement. Steve-O71, I can't comment on that now. Sorry. But that subject you just mentioned, but I may be referring to it in the future. Trust No One says, Rob, right, he's dressing Rob. Jack's smirking revenge says, yeah, that was the excuse they gave. It's because he'd been on ice for years and like a freezer, they wouldn't pass close inspection. Yes, I imagine so. Or they find some. They do what they did with Hitler. With Hitler, they just found They found a body who looked like him, and in Berlin in 1945, there was no shortage of dead bodies, and they just found one that looked like Hitler, and they just filmed him outside the bunker. You could see the body hadn't been burnt. So this story about how they try to burn the body. It's amazing how these mysterious deaths keep happening, and there's an official story. I mean, Hitler was just dodgy as hell. In fact, after the end of the Cold War, the old Soviet dental records were released, and they don't match Hitler's dentist. The dental records, which is the ultimate forensic identification, indicate that the corpse that was shown did not have Hitler's teeth. So it wasn't Hitler. 69 Fugit, want beans from my dead cold hands. Neil Desperanton. Benazir Bhutto said that OBL was dead. Then she was assassinated long afterwards herself. That's right. Benazir Bhutto, president of Pakistan, was actually president of the Oxford Union when she was a student here. She was being interviewed by David Frost and said she mentioned the person who killed Osama bin Laden just a short while, a couple of weeks before she herself was killed. Now, what's weird is that David Frost must know something, because he didn't. He reacted as much as I did when I found out that Jeffrey Epstein had died. He just didn't even move. He just let it go right over his head. So that's an odd reaction. Because if I'd been there, I'd have said, "What did you say? Kill Osama bin Laden? What are you talking about?" So obviously, David Frost has a lot more experience and a lot more knowledge. Alex Fate, side note, have you ordered Ike's new book, The Trigger? No, I haven't. I haven't yet. I like Ike too, Phuket. Hello, Bill. Jack Smirker Events, Controlled Opposition. Who's that? Ike? All right, we need the tribunal, like I've said. DJ B2, don't bother about the comments vids, Benny. No, I like them, DJ. I like the comments vids. And most of you guys like them too. Rob Jack says there's a list of 12 Clinton bodyguards that are dead. All right. Just a coincidence, nothing to worry about. David Schultz, dead men don't tell tales. Exactly. It's an old maxim, but it's true. It is true. And that's surely lots of people must see this. We've got 89 people watching. I think that's a big live stream I've got here. Phuket said, I saw him in Manchester Uni in the 90s. Yeah, shell suit era. Something like a shell suit. Phuket, I don't actually stock stuff. I don't believe I'm not a prepper or survivalist. I believe in trying to stop the New World Order, stop this thing from happening in the first place. Oh, this is interesting. Bakshi says, and Tina, have you seen Bakshi's comments, Tina Silver? 10th of August to the 9th to the 11th of September is 33 days. Oh, you have Tina. So I see. How about that? 33 days. Interestingly, between 9/11 and the Madrid bombing, there were 666 days. Jack's Smirking Revenge. Did Hitler's X-rays not match? Wow. Yeah. There's an article in Nexus about it. A guy called Gerard Williams has written a book called Grey Wolf, all about Hitler and how he got away. He died in 1962 in Argentina. There's a photograph of him as an old guy. Hi, Crafty Nihilist. How are you both? Yeah. Jax, do watch or listen to the interviews with Gerard Williams. Hitler escaped from Berlin, I reckon. Nothing as it seems. What must become transparent in the BS of a gravitational view? Black holes are an excuse for their stupidity. That's nothing. There are always going to be people who will not red pill over this. And we've already seen the skeptics. I've mentioned skeptics already saying, calm down, conspiracy theorists. I've actually seen them. It's, oh, God. But remember the 100th monkey, the critical mass? If Cosmic Claire's on the show, appears, she'll tell you all about that. If this doesn't push us over the limit, the 100th monkey point, I don't know what will. Pat Riot, hello. David Schultz they say Hitler died in South America. I think it was Brazil, based on the evidence. He also spent some time in Antarctica. You may have seen my video on Jack of the Antarctic. Yeah, Fuka 80. He got 92 now. Yeah, he was 66 years old. I think Kraft. He was. Yeah, he was in 1962. He would have been 80. He would have been 70 something. I can't work it out. He was born 1883, I think. I can't remember. But Hitler was. He died in the early 60s in Argentina. There's a photograph. Williams has got hold of a photograph. And Crafty, I think by now he would be pretty elderly if he was still alive. Phuket discuss distraction from sitting on bum and getting heads right. Yeah. DJ, what's this female skull thing about Hitler? Do you mean Eva Braun? He was married to her just before he allegedly died. Big Scottish Mitchie says maybe his cellmate was Andy Shawshank. Yeah, I don't think I couldn't see Jeffrey Epstein digging a tunnel. I really couldn't. Tina, I'm sure you are the 100th monkey, darling. I'm the 101st. Crafty Nice. The video of his corpse looks odd, different nose and ear. Crafty, do you mean? You don't mean Epstein, do you? You are Phuket, yeah. You're the 99th. Oh, sorry, Jeffrey Epstein was 66. That's it. Yeah, he was 66 years old, which means if he had been convicted, he would have rotted in jail for the rest of his life. He would never see the light of day again outside a prison yard. Meditation. Oh, you mean about Phuket? You commented on my still ill video about that, didn't you? Crafty, have you seen the corpse of Epstein? Is there photographs of it? I'm just going to Google that, actually. A real one, though, of course, there's going to be some bloody Photoshop ones, aren't they? Epstein's body. Here we go. Images. Of course, there's going to be some Photoshop ones. Oh, there's a van of undertaker, like a police undertaker's van, taking the body away from the hospital. Epstein's face death. What's this? Oh, so there's two different photos of him looking different. Yeah. Let's have a look. There's no pictures of his body I can find here. Even the warders didn't snap a selfie, which they could have sold for quite a lot of money, I'm sure. All right, Tina says the so-called skull of Hitler turned out to be a female skull. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much an open and shut case then, isn't it? My mouth's dry. I've got dragon juice here. Neptune, a chembuster. Nick Hayes knows about that. Phuket, it was cloud busting by Kate Bush. Video shown underground. Epstein's victims will be questioned regardless of whether he lived for a trial. Yeah, the investigation will happen. There'll be questions going round, but there'll be no defense attorney, which means there'll be no oversight you would get in the judiciary. Uncensored black boxes. Trust one. Yeah, Crafty Nice. What's that ear and nose thing about? It's like they replaced him with someone else or something like that. Neil Desbrandam says the photos are on the New York Post website. In one of the Epstein photos, it looks like there's latex and material hanging down over his ear, like the underside of a wig. That's how he sneaked stuff into his cell. Wouldn't they have searched him? Wouldn't someone have noticed that? These prison warders. Epstein, every exit is an entrance. Yeah. Dema Gordon, it's lovely stuff. This, yeah. I think there's going to be some kind of whitewash. There'll be an inquiry. There'll be an investigation. It'll conclude there was some big cock up within the prison. Obviously, some of the warders will be sacked. The prison governor will probably have to resign. But it'll all look as like some terrible, terrible oversight, some accident, and based on incompetence, like it always does. Like whenever one of these people dies, there's always some reason. There's always some reason, some incredibly freak occurrence, which means that we can never know the truth. That the cover-up will work if there is a cover-up. Alex Fay, Epstein going to trial and then dead will scare those that he was connected to more than if he'd simply been killed. Oh, God, yes, Alex. Absolutely. Totally and utterly. What's happened here? I think I've changed something. Oh, something's happened to the picture. I've lost a lot of the stats and things. I'll just get rid of that. What's this? Muting the mic. For some reason the view has changed. Can you all hear me okay? There ain't no party like an Epstein party. Well, I did, when you watch the comments reply video, which I recorded after I first heard the news, I do celebrate a little bit. Klopp, please watch my video, Jews. Neil Desbrandon, Ben, I mean Epstein dead on the stretcher being wheeled into the hospital. The photos are on the New York website. If it's all right, sent you an email with a link. Oh right, where's my email? Hang on, where's my email? Oh wow, where's my bloody email? Thanks, Crafty Nihilist. Thank you. I can't. My emails. I've logged out. Hang on. I'm going to just go to here. Hang on. I can't have time. On stretcher. I'll put gurney because it's on gurney. Here we are. Gurney's the American word. Right. Ah, yes. Yep, I see it. Yeah, there's a. Oh, you can see it. Oh, his face is like purple and blue. But someone's. Is this the same guy? Is it? Are people saying this is not the same man? Oh, right. There's a. Right. Is it not Epstein? Was it a mistake? Was it some other patient, or was it that he's been replaced or something? The nose is his nose is a different. His ears a different shape, and his nose is a different shape. Unless he'd been dead for a while. You see, the thing is, when I've seen this at the hospital, when someone dies, after a while, but it takes an hour or two, their face changes shape. Their nose goes like that, and they tend to, you get like a kind of effect of a flattening of the face, but it takes an hour or two. Now, that's in a way that's even more suspicious because it means that he died in the prison and they basically left his body in the prison before calling the ambulance for about an hour or more than an hour. But thanks for sending me the email, Crafty. 69 Phuket, yeah, Zionists and Jews are two different things. That's right. Thanks, Midgie. Truth Seeker. The truth is truthseeker.net still around? That was Dave Starbuck's old website. Katrina, hello. They should check all of the prison staff's bank accounts for very large sums of money deposited. Yes. Or if they happen to be carrying big suitcases around with the notes sticking out of them. Right, the weird ear. That's it. Thanks, Crafty. I've seen the photo now. This could be. There's either two possibilities, and both are equally suspicious. One is that's not Epstein. It could be a mistake. Maybe the journalist got the wrong patient, or they've replaced Epstein with someone else, or the ear has an added bit of skin. Oh, right. That's really weird. Or and latex-like material hanging down. Duty James, boring? It's not boring. Shut up. Go and watch something else if you don't like it. I know in my work they just get on with life, lots of babies. Yeah. However, the other possibility is that he is Epstein and he died a couple of hours earlier, which means, again, he's dead, and then they wait 2 hours and then they call the bloody ambulance to take him to hospital, which is also equally suspicious. Midgie, Prince Andrew, I'm sure he is, but I mean, I'd love to see that guy arrested. I really would. Talking about Prince Andrew, Pat Riot, Epstein caught the Finito Express. Kloppite, I wonder if Epstein sacrificed the wrong baby by mistake. Well, Kloppite, as Tina's explained, and the person who said that there was 33 days between the two dates, there's an occult date connection here. Neptune, hello. I'm not boring, am I? Yeah, it's crafty. They had the oxygen mask on him. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously they are. Either, like I said, either he's dead and ready, and they're making the pretense of trying to resuscitate him, or he is. It's not him. They've replaced him with someone else, and maybe someone, like I said, with who's had plastic surgery on his ear. I mean, to be honest, I did put an oxygen mask on a dead body once. It was actually, we had a guy who wouldn't fit in the usual transport, which has a cover on it. So we put him on a bed and we put an oxygen mask on so that anyone passing us would think he was alive. Oh, I've got nothing. Oh, well done. You've got your wife's look into the Apollo detective theory. Well, I hope she likes it. Yeah. Duty James, you've been painting your nails black. Oh, that's interesting. The royal family is now immune from the law, Tina. Well, we'll soon find out, Tina. I hope not. But this is essentially a test of that, isn't it? Do you remember Lyndon LaRouche? Lyndon LaRouche was sort of like the big name on the scene before Alex Jones and David Icke and that. And this was pre-internet. And he was talking about the royal family a lot. Rob Jack, is Epstein under the covers of your bed? Look. Jeffrey? I don't think he is. Judy James, and Ben, I was one of your first subs ever, so fuck you. Judy, what's the problem? What's wrong? What's your issue? I don't know. I've got a clue what you're talking about. Clopite, would anyone be able to handle the truth about the atrocities of the elite? Maybe it's best we don't know. Clopite, a lot of people, many people wouldn't. I've talked about this. Especially when it comes to the children. You'll see people weeping in the street, but we have to know. We have to. We won't be able to heal from this unless we know the full everything that's happened. JJDA, suicide, did I tell you? Yes, suicide. That's a good word, that. Neptune, looks like Epi is on your bed, Ben. Oh, God. I'm the wrong sex and I'm too old. I don't think so. 69 Fuki, let's keep Ben up all night. I'm not going to be up all night. I've lost, all the stats are gone from my video. For some reason, pop out chat, toggle timestamp. What's that mean? Toggle timestamps. I don't know why. Oh, right. For some reason, we'll pop out chat. For some reason, all the stats have gone from my video. I don't know how many people are watching now. All the stats have vanished. After Diana died, says Tina, and the Paul Burrell thing, the royals were made immune from the law. Or, you know, Tina, they did get away with that, didn't they? Yeah. JJDA, Epstein made an example of. Well, I think a trial would be much more an example. A trial and imprisonment for life would be much more of an example. Neptune, but wet from dog walk. Oh, Neptune, you're back from the dog. Good walk. Starlight Lake, why no suicide watch in jail? Exactly. Well, they're now saying, oh, we don't know. Starshine, what was he wearing on the stretcher? How did he hang himself? Good. Well, good question. He's wearing. You can't actually see his clothes. He's got a blanket on him. He's got an oxygen mask on his face. Apparently, well, on one of the shots he has an oxygen mask. On another he doesn't. He doesn't quite fit. He doesn't look like Epstein. Actually, he doesn't look like Epstein at all. Well, there's loads of pictures comparing his nose, like that's not him. Yeah. There's a picture of him being loaded aboard an ambulance here. Oh, right. Alex Fate, 101. Oh, that's good. Duty James, what's all right? Unsub if you want, but I've got no idea what your problem is. I really don't. Oh, thanks, Tina. Clock point. No CCTV cameras equals inside job. Yeah, as with Diana, exactly the same. JJDA, Russell is trying to sleep. So Russell's circadian rhythm is based on the planet around Zeta Reticuli. So he only actually sleeps about he sleeps about 24 hours every 5 days. And at the moment, this is not his sleep cycle, so he's wide awake. Crafty Niles, what about Ghislaine Maxwell? she procured the girls. Well, Crafty, I think she might have been one of the ones in 2008 who got dropped deliberately in exchange for Epstein's original plea bargain. If I was her, I mean, obviously she is in a sense guilty too. She's a collaborator. She's not just a prostitute for Epstein, but she was underage at the time, so maybe they will play on that. But she's not facing criminal charges. As I said, she needs to watch her back, definitely, and be careful crossing the road. 106, hey, brilliant. Starshine, I can't see the neck, no. Crafty, it doesn't look like him, does it? No. It doesn't look, the photo of in New York of him on the stretcher doesn't look like him. Neptune, the island, there's some explosion. There were reports of what everyone thought was an earthquake on the island, which later on, this is just after his arrest, which later on proved not to be an earthquake. I reckon he was destroying some of the underground tunnels that he's got there, which these people always have. Just like they did at the Wenceslas mine. The Nazis did that at the Wenceslas mine because of the Bell, the anti-gravity craft. Kloppite, who do you think is at the top of the BBC? The one who makes all the real decisions? Oh, I don't know, Kloppite. It's probably not the Director General you see. The new Director General lives in Oxford, actually. He commutes to the BBC. Bucksheesh, was he zapped with an energy weapon? I don't know. Scottish Midgie, if Trump is innocent in this case, surely he will investigate. I believe he's innocent, yeah. The media, it's all media hearsay because they don't like him. They're trying to big up and exaggerate the Trump's connection to Epstein, which is really disreputable even by their standards. New Phuket, welcome to Fantasy Island. Starshine, if he was on suicide watch, where in his cell can you hang yourself? Surely a cell would be hang-proof. Yes, they are. To hang something, you need something to. Firstly, you need a ligature, and as I said, he was very careful to avoid. He had any items that could be turned into a ligature, like shoelaces, for example. And what do you hang it from? I mean, they wouldn't have hooks on the wall and things like that. Midgie, down in hell, Epstein, Savile, the rest. I bloody hope so. Good riddance to them, yeah. Hopefully getting buggered by the beast, yes. I hope they're getting mobile phones shoved up their asses like Hitler did in the Dogma thing. Was it Dogma, that really funny comedy where Harvey Keitel plays the devil? It's really good, that, yeah. Yeah. Rob Jack. It will be easier to list the major world incidents where cameras will work. I know. I know. They always work perfectly where I am. I mean, if you drive your car at 31 miles an hour, you could bet your bottom dollar you won't get away with it. The cameras will work perfectly. You will get a nasty letter through the post and a fine. The camera will work perfectly in that occasion. Yeah, the royal family are a bunch of Illuminati, Habsburg bloodline leeches who are not, they're not the legitimate rulers of this country. They are usurpers and they belong in the Tower of London. Phuket, they're too busy with their smart devices to notice. Phuket, there are always going to be people, you will see them and you'll realize they're not waking up and you'll feel, oh, damn, it's not working. But it's all about proportions. It doesn't even have to be the majority. It only has to be the critical mass. So don't despair. Neil Desprendum says, Ben, have you seen the new unidentified series with Elizondo? In episode 5, they do Rendlesham and interview Burroughs, who says that Peniston told him he disappeared from his side only to reappear later. You know, Neil, that is a massive oversight on my part. I haven't seen it. I haven't watched it. Not yet. I mean, I've been meaning to, and I just haven't had time. I haven't had time to watch it. It's awful. And I know I found a place which is showing it. I haven't. Oh. Loving life. Andrew's come out of hiding with Mummy. Oh. So the Queen technically can't be prosecuted under law, but Andrew can. Her progeny can. Neil, yeah, I mean, I really must watch that. I must watch it. Oh, God. There's so much I need to do and haven't done yet, and just because I haven't found the time. Neil Desprendum. Burroughs says you couldn't, yeah. It's odd, that, isn't it? Crafty Nice. I wonder what Fergie, Kate, and Meghan know. Kate, I think, put it this way. When Kate got engaged and married to Prince William, she was called the most envied woman in the world. 3 weeks into that marriage, you could bet she was envying every other woman in the world. I mean, when she was in hospital with the baby, I mean, was she even carrying the baby? People said that she didn't look pregnant. The baby appeared. That nurse died in mysterious circumstances, Nurse Jacinta Soldano. And things like that. As for Meghan, yeah, she's in a similar boat now. I mean, she has a baby who I think is probably her own, and ironically, the baby is human. 69 figure. Don't talk to me about despair. I was homeless. Yeah, I know, Phuket. I'm saying don't despair if you see people who appear not to be waking up. All right. If you see people who appear not to be waking up, there's always going to be those people. However, what we have here is large numbers of people who are going to be seeing things our way, probably more than any other time since the Kennedy assassination. Even 9/11 will not red pill people like this does. So it doesn't have to be everybody. It doesn't even have to be the majority. It just has to be the critical mass. I wish Cosmic Claire was here. She said she was going to turn up, and she hasn't. Maybe she's ill. Kevin Smith says, when will we have answers from the warder that allowed these guards off? I bet the guy's really rich by now. Well, yeah, someone said earlier, check his bank account. Are they seriously saying that the warders were allowed off duty and allowed to leave this massive goldmine of legal hot property, the most important prisoner in the country, unattended? Starshine. Andrew had a big grin on his face in the car with the Queen on his way to church today. Oh, I bet it's a grin of relief, but I don't know how long that will last. Kevin Smith says Markle is a man. I don't think she is, Markle is trans. I don't think she is, I don't think she is. She looks pretty female to me. Loving Life. How many pedos are the royals friends with? Yet people still refuse to see it. Fewer now, I hope. Pat. Loving Life. Fewer than used to. We'll see it now. Pat Wright. Yeah, Pat Wright says the world's highest profile prisoner, new to sentence with recent attempted suicide in custody, would be in the anti-ligature cell and on constant watch. Precisely. I mean, have any of you ever been prison warders or inmates? Have you ever been in prison? If you know anything about prisons, please do tell me. I mean, Katrina Barlow says, wonder what big event they have for us this week to distract us from Epstein. Oh, my God. Yes. Someone else was saying, weren't they? Someone was talking about a possible. Oh, it was actually, who was it? I think it was like Dion. What's her name? That there'd be some kind of distraction. Because do you remember we talked about this when I did the video about Prince Philip's car crash and Stephen Hawking. Yeah. There'll be some kind of, yeah, it really will be. I think they'll have to, if they're going to kill off Ghislaine Maxwell, something's going to have to knock that down to page 4 or 5 at least. And what will do that? Probably a big fire in Westminster Abbey or something like that, like they did for Notre Dame. Or a plane crash in central London, something like that. Starshine, I wonder what the motive was if he was bumped off. Starshine, take your pick. A large number of people wanted him dead, and a large number of people were rich and famous and had been involved with him, had been friends of his. Kevin, yeah, they're going to try some damage limitation exercise, the mainstream media, to try and let this story die. I don't think it's going to work, but they're going to try. I think they'll go back to gun control. Yeah, Tina Silver, the guy who won Love Island, arrived back at the UK on Saturday. Oh, did he? I don't watch things like this, Tina. I really don't. Loving Life. A lot of the... Do you think, Tina, are you saying that will be used as the distraction? I think it's going to have to be something a bit more drastic than that. A lot of these that use Demetrius said 11th of August. Right, watch out. Well, that is, yep, today. Yes. No, it's not. Sorry, but it is, isn't it? Yes, today. It's the 11th of August. Yes, it is. Has anyone checked the news to see if anything's happening? Someone check the news for us, will you? Sean Atwood does a lot of prison. Right, thanks, Neptune. Jeffrey, bungled, now zipped. 69 Phuket. I was homeless because I spent my money on a Thai holiday and came back with my Ford Escort. I'm sorry to hear that. That's lousy. Nothing is as it seems, says. When I found a moment to look into electric universe construction. Yeah, okay. Green Sky 17. Sky News is very quiet even on Twitter. I've been through your comments, have I? I should go through your comments in this. Now, John Smith says, likely to be another suspension of disbelief video. Hold your comments for minutes, guys. That glosses over Donald Trump's intimate connections with such individuals and his creepy remarks about young girls and fun Epstein shared with them. Trump's comments about his own very young daughters are also very creepy. Ben will likely focus on the Clintons instead, over equally detestable group of individuals, let alone Trump's intimate connections to others, including Epstein's death is as convenient for Trump as it is to the Clintons, as it is to Trump apologizers. Ben will likely adopt the same counter-conspiracy that Trump's administration have by turning it wholly onto the Clintons, ignoring his own intimate relationship. Okay, here's a brief list of glossed over facts concerning Trump. And this is basically the stuff from Neil Sanders, isn't it? Yeah. John Smith has published the whole list of material from Neil Sanders, which I've covered in my video called Why 2016 Matters. And John, I don't agree with you. And I've already explained why. Okay. Mr. MT says, extremely convenient he died. Yes. Vicky Ledgard, another one silenced. JJ, it's murder, I tell you. Keep him quiet, see. Neptune says he had to be whacked. He knew too many names. Crafty Nihilist says, this will be interesting, Ben. I recommend anyone interested in Jeffrey Epstein to look at Amazing Polly's work. Yes, definitely. DJ B2, why not now, Ben? Lol, keep up the good work. Well, I didn't do the live stream straight away because I wanted to let people know it was coming so you could prepare. Anthony Morn, this nonce committed suicide this morning. Yes, he did. Exactly. Sorry, I just wanted to go through the comments there. I forgot to go through the comments on the notice. Right. Where were we? Yeah. The sky's very quiet. Another school. Katrina, another school shooting probably wouldn't cut it unless it was really big. Like 50 people dead or something. Lime Specs. If they try to repeal the Second Amendment, it'll start another actual civil war. Lime Specs, yes, if you try to take people's guns away, they'll think we've got nothing to lose. We might as well fight now while we can, rather than later when we can't. Isabel Niamiro. Hello, Niamiro, Isabel. I'm wearing a hat on my head, this hat here, which I use because I've got a bald head, which looks ridiculous in the bright light. You've got a Thai wife, Phuket. Okay. I'm pleased. I hope you're happy together. Starshine. Wonder if any inmates in the next cell know anything. Well, they would be a long way away. I mean, this is in something like that. I imagine they wouldn't be allowed to sort of like wander together in the dining area and things like that. Phuket could have bought a house in what it cost. Lysis. False flag coming soon, says Midgie. It would have to be, yes. Midgie, it would have to be something very big. Very, very big indeed. Yeah. Lime Specs. I think, where are we? Starshine. Trump's tweets from 2012. Another one bites the dust, Satina. I want that song played at my funeral, by the way. Hello, Tristan. Tristan Gonzalez. You are, oh right, you're not the Tristan I would ban immediately if he appeared. That's good. Kevin Smith, Twitter bots are working hard to overthrow the Clinton body count. Yeah, as I was saying I actually said this, I'm going to say it in the comments reply video that is coming. Steve Shives, I've been blocked by Steve Shives. No, see you, Tina. Night. I'm not going to keep going on for much longer, actually. Nice to meet you too. Videos from the underground says American people are too placated to commit a civil war. Won't happen. Just nutters doing what they usually do. I don't know. If they do it, they got to do it the right way. To know what it's about. Midgie says, not had a big terrorist CIA Mossad MI5 attack in a while. Yeah, we're overdue for one. Proselytizing Orthodox Pentecostal trans rabbit says, oh Lord, I'm betting Ben is in his element with this one. Well, I'm just doing what I always do, rabbit, reporting on these things. Fugit says, I'm in it for the cuddles and the land. Line specs. I don't down south particularly. They really love their guns. Oh. But she wants to stay. What the fuck? Okay, so guys, if is that all the comments? It's now, we've been good for an hour and 20, which is quite short by most of my live stream standards. But I think we've covered it, haven't we? Yeah. Alex Fate says floods in India and China, tear gas used in Hong Kong, and Kashmir. Coincidences? Alex, because of where they are, I don't think they're sort of like headline smashers. If people know these things are going on, but because they're in far off places, people don't really mind. Rabbit, the news is, well, it's in the title. This is the Jeffrey Epstein death live stream. Crapping Cat says, you're overdue for a spanking. I'm going to make your bottom tomato red. Crapping Cat. You've been reading You've been reading too much of 50 Shades of Grey. It's not my scene, I'm afraid. I like the vanilla stuff, I'm afraid. KM, good morning to you. Crafty Nihilist. I'm going to send you a Twitter link, very interesting, on Richie Allen's Twitter. Can't post it here, saying they worked where Epstein was, thinks he was switched, not killed. Oh, right. Please do, Nihilist. I may not be able to look at it tonight because I'm getting tired and I've still got to upload Third Rail Radio, but I will check it out. Rabbit, yeah, things happen. Coincidence? Yeah, not always. Rabbit, if you won the lottery 5 weeks in a row, would you call that a coincidence? 6 foot you kid. Oh, night, Steve. Take care. What 4chan post? Yes, Starshine, he died a moider. Jeffrey Epstein was murdered. Rabbit needed, if he committed suicide, then I'm a bloody Scotsman. Night, Lime Specs, and you too, Alex. Oh, Neptune, I know. Compared to my normal live streams, this is a short one, isn't it? Yes, it was moider. I know, Neptune, but I'm getting tired now, and it was quite a short lead off, which was why this is shorter than usual. But are you guys okay if we call it a night? I got 100. I've got 10. I've got a lot. See you then. Yep. See you, David Schultz. Yep. Ben Muck the J-Port. Rabbit, it was not a suicide. Start trying to get Vera on the case. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Later. Hello, William. How are you? Thanks for dropping in. You come just at the end. I'm going to end it, actually. Night, loving life. Thank you, all of you. Night, Hugo Rune. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. That bucket's got my dirty clothes in. Oh God, I'm gonna have to just keep that bucket out of the way. Time to suicide the stream. Yes. Maybe he's not dead. Yeah, maybe you're right, Crafty Nihilist. By the way, as I said, look out for, in the next day or two, the upcoming comments reply video, which you probably know are coming. If you comment on my videos, you'll probably have had a tag. I've nearly finished it, actually, so I'll probably finish it tomorrow. So you'll know my comments reply video is coming. And you will and look out for that. So check that out. What did you just notice, William? Neptune returns. Ben, what are your views on disclosure? Neptune wants me to stay for another 3 hours, don't you? Nice try, Neptune returns. Night, Winslow. Nice try, Neptune. Nice try. What have you noticed, Williamism? Let me know. It's going. Yes, it goes on for 5 hours. Yeah. Well, once you get me started on disclosure, you won't stop me. And Neptune returns knows that as well. Williamism says, "Have you a cam set up and bed behind?" Lol. Yes, that is my bed. Armand, sorry. Not to worry, mate. Not to worry. I'm sorry. We're coming to the end. Sorry. Thanks for joining us, Armand, and sleep tight. Yeah, I won't. Those bed bugs won't bite. Don't worry. Midgie's false flag Prince Andrew mistaken for genuine. Oh, right. Maybe he will. Neptune turns Larry Warren is not a liar. Again, that's a nice try. I will nothing. Yeah, I've got a long day at work tomorrow. Lots of overtime. Rabbit. I've got posters, but I just don't have them in the field of view. I used to have a UFO Truth magazine poster. It's gone now. I don't know where it's gone. Night Clockbite. Isaac T. Yeah. Press 1 for murder, 2 for suicide. 1. Yep, 1. Absolutely 1. I know Rabbit is going to press. Yeah. Spooky Williamism. Are you S. Williams, who does the videos? Who does those really good videos? Are you Williamism? Are you that guy? Because I've met you. Yeah. Night. It's like the Waltons, isn't it? Crafty Nihilist. Yes, Crafty. See you at Probe. Oh no, is it Homefirth? Yay, Homefirth. Neptune returns. I can't ask Andrew Johnson to explain Dr. Judy Wood's theory. Katrina. Night. It's 25 past 10, and I've got to. Alex Fate has chosen the third option. All right, both. Right, great. Listen, Mark, I'll see you at both. Right. I've got to. If you go to Panmo Radio, in about half an hour or so, you will find the Third Rail Radio, which covers Jeffrey Epstein as well. The latest episode of Third Rail Radio. I've got to do that before bed. I've recorded it. I've just got to upload it. I've edited it too. And the rest of you, thanks very much, all of you. I'm good now. Check out the comments reply video in the next couple of days, and thank you all of you. Rabbit. The stream went on for an hour, almost an hour and a half. So that's short for me, but longer than most people's streams. Thank you all of you for your comments. As I've said many times, I couldn't do this without you. No, Marcus Allen is not my father. Hi, Simon. You're welcome, Simon. I honestly, right, your comments are what makes it happen. You viewing is what makes it happen. Without you viewing, it would be nothing. So thank you very much, all of you. I couldn't, you are essential to these types of videos. So please do keep watching, keep commenting on the videos I make, I upload, and also comment on the live and on the comments box on the videos that I do as a live streams. Rabbit, if you thought you couldn't do this without me viewing, I wouldn't watch. Yeah, night, Peter John. Rabbit, I know you can't resist it. I know you can't. William is in peace up. I know you find it difficult and deeply embarrassing to watch, but you still watch it. Cheers, Pitcat. Okay. Good night, everyone. Sleep tight, etc., etc. God bless. And let's wake up tomorrow morning in a happy world where the Epstein effect really, really starts to take on a life, and the 100th monkey is awoken. Farewell.